Penguin Random House Audio presents The Lifestyle by Taylor Hahn. Read for you by Christine Lakin. To Crystal Hannah Kim, for your friendship, encouragement, and radiant light. The real evils, indeed, of Emma's situation were the power of having rather too much her own way, and a disposition to think a little too well of herself. These were the disadvantages which threatened alloy to her many enjoyments. Jane Austen, Emma. Chapter 1. Georgina Wagman's life was so good she felt bad about it. Not so bad she'd change anything, but bad enough she'd made it her mission to help others reach their potential in love, career, and Epicurean delights. So it was with the best of intentions that she ordered 4 boxes of the richest, crispiest cannoli in New York City for the junior associates working late on Friday night, and hand-delivered them office to office. How could she have known they'd give everyone food poisoning? The Italian bakery was A-rated by the health department, or that the 30th floor restrooms were closed for cleaning. Building management should have waited until after hours for that. Everyone knows lawyers work through dinner. Sweaty and groaning, the associates had scattered 30 minutes later, some to the privacy of their apartments, others to the stairwell in search of a restroom on a different floor, except one first-year associate named Meredith DeLuca. When Georgina had stopped by Meredith's office with the box of cannoli on display, she'd politely declined. "I don't have much of a sweet tooth," she'd said. "Only bad cannoli are too sweet," Georgina had insisted. "Anyway, I'm a vegan," Meredith had said, and that put an end to that. All of Georgina's fellow partners at the law firm of Ryan, Dunn, and Chandler, LLP, were assigned a junior associate to mentor, and Georgina had landed Meredith. While most of her colleagues fulfilled their obligation by begrudgingly taking their mentees to lunch on the firm credit card once a year after their performance reviews, Georgina considered herself a Sherpa, leading Meredith on a treacherous expedition up Mount Everest. She'd framed Georgina Wagman's top 25 tips for being a star associate without missing sleep and presented it to Meredith on her first day in a gift bag, and tried not to be offended when she never hung it up. Meredith accepted her advice with grace, if not enthusiasm, but Georgina was determined their relationship would become more than a formality. If only Meredith would ask a question or two, seek her help and counsel, then she could prove her trustworthiness. But Meredith wore her red hair and tight black skirt suit like an electric fence, forcing everyone to keep out. She never attended firm happy hours or holiday parties, and she declined every one of Georgina's 37 lunch invitations. Was that Georgina's fault for choosing the wrong restaurants? Now that she understood Meredith's palate, she'd pick somewhere with salty vegetables on the menu. If Meredith was hoping Georgina would eventually get the hint and stop trying to be her fairy godmother, she was wrong. So wrong. Georgina Wagman would not go down without a fight, especially when her intentions were good, which was always. If only they'd been a little less good in this particular instance, Meredith DeLuca wouldn't have been the only associate to stay late in the office. Chapter 2. Georgina looked up from her computer at a knock on her office door. Nathan smiled in his favorite gray suit and light pink tie. "I heard you tried to kill the junior associates," he said. Nathan was her partner in more than law. They'd met as first years, when Georgina was Meredith's age, and married 5 years later. Last year, they'd both made a partner. Nathan worked in the corporate department, specifically structured finance. While she didn't know per se what structured finance was, she had no problem faking it when she helped Nathan wine and dine clients. She'd memorized one Wall Street Journal article on solar energy securitization, and found a way to work it into the conversation whenever someone mentioned the price of oil falling, which they always did. That was good enough. As long as she laughed at their jokes, those men didn't care much what she had to say anyway. She was a litigator. People assumed lawyers had a well-rounded practice of law, but they were wrong. Just as Nathan only spent his days structuring finances, her only focus was advocating, a fancy word for arguing. She advocated on conference calls, advocated over email, advocated in briefs, and occasionally advocated to a judge, although that happened a lot more on TV than in real life, it turned out. She'd become a lawyer because of Ally McBeal. It was an embarrassing but true fact, like that hummus gave her very bad gas. She covered her face. "Don't say that. They're going to sue me. Oh, God, are they going to sue me?" "They won't sue you," Nathan said. "They're afraid of you, especially now that you tried to kill them." "Stop saying that." "Relax." Nathan hitched up his pant legs and sat on the corner of her desk. "People get food poisoning. It happens." "Not to me." She returned to her computer. "I'm Googling remedies and bringing them to their apartments tomorrow morning, and I've got Dr. Fraser ready to make house calls if they need her." "The junior associates are capable of buying their own Pepto-Bismol," Nathan said, "and they do not want a partner showing up unannounced at their apartments. Trust me." Her fingers paused in their frantic search for the best nausea-quelling tea. He was probably right about that. They didn't like it when she stopped by their offices, always hastily stacking their messy papers and putting their shoes back on, while she pretended not to notice. "I have to do something. I feel awful." "Why don't you get them a special treat?" Nathan made a show of tapping his chin as he brainstormed options. "I don't know. Maybe a cannoli?" She picked up a red pen and threw it at him. "I know what to do," she said. "I'll give them a sick day." "Tomorrow's Saturday." "Lawyers work on Saturdays." Nathan laughed and shook his head. "You work on Saturdays." "Hey," he checked his watch. "Aren't you late for something?" "Shit!" She stood up so fast her chair fell backward. "I have drinks with a client. Want to be my wingman?" "I can't." As she stuffed her laptop and legal pad into her briefcase, Nathan righted her chair. He helped her into her red peacoat and kissed her hair. She turned to smile up at him. His face was pale, square, and defined, like a sandstone sculpture carved with 90-degree angles. Every woman at the firm agreed he was handsome, which they told Georgina often. She liked to hear it. It made her proud. "But this client has no boundaries," she said. "Maybe if you're there, she won't tell me everything about her sex life." "Wish I could help. I'm taking 3 guys from Morgan Stanley to the Knicks. You can fill me in on her sex life when we get home." "It's better if I drink enough wine that I can't remember the details." When Nathan grinned, 2 parentheses appeared in his smooth cheeks. "Do you tell her about our sex life?" "I would love to, but it's usually tough to get a word in edgewise." Also, there wasn't much to tell, but she didn't want to hurt Nathan's feelings. Their sex life was perfectly fine, thank you very much. It just didn't inspire stories. She didn't tell her friends about Swiffering the kitchen, did she? Not that sex with Nathan was like Swiffering the kitchen. If given the choice between those 2 things, she would definitely choose sex with Nathan. Or probably. Both were rewarding in their own way. She only meant sex with Nathan was a regularly occurring activity that was productive and enjoyable, but not surprising enough to talk about. But frankly, she didn't know a single married couple whose sex life was surprising, including her client, whose stories were not so much about having sex as they were about not having sex, and the vibrators she used instead. Georgina gave her surroundings the once-over to make sure she hadn't forgotten anything. When she became partner, The firm gave her a sizable budget to decorate her fancy new...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?